Episode number 4 of Spy Family absolutely crushed. This episode was just, on so many levels, just completely fantastic. Not only was it emotional, but it was also freaking hilarious. And I thought that everything that they went for this episode, they just absolutely nailed. One of the kind of reoccurring themes that I've been talking on in the channel, especially this spring season, right? Because there's so many great anime and there's so many awful anime this spring season. And that's going to happen when you have like 40 plus different anime premiering in a season. But one of the reoccurring themes I've been speaking about is just anime trying to go for something and failing and nailing. And those two things are drastically different. It's when they're trying to get a laugh out of their audience and they completely botch it and they don't make it happen. And the opposite side of that is when they're trying to go for a feeling or comedy in their audience and they absolutely nail it. And there was a lot of big hype around this episode specifically because really throughout the first 4 episodes of Spy Family, we've been building up to this episode so far here. And it kind of sounds silly, right? It's like, we're only 4 episodes in. What do you mean building up? It's like, well, everything that Spy Family has initiated, right? From our introduction to Lloyd, then introducing Anya into the mix, then finally meeting Yor, then kind of filling out what their mission is, how are they going to get married, what's the family going to look like. All those things finally came together, and they were all leading us to the interview for Anya to get into school. She took her test, and now was the big interview part. And this was like the big test for them as a family to be able to succeed or fail the mission that Lloyd has been trying to complete. Now, the good thing, for them is they, at the end of the episode, they were able to get on the headmaster's good graces. Now, the adventure or the process of getting to that point that's kind of where the real comedy really took effect. So, the episode, there was a thing that they were going for was the theme for this episode was elegance, right? So the headmaster, he kind of gives everybody points, or he is able to determine how elegant they are, if they're going to feel the elegance, the nature of the school. And he was dismissing and passing families based on their elegance, based on the way they walked, the way their demeanor was. He put side tests, like at some point as they're walking, there was a boy that was stuck in a sewer. He's like, help me, help me. And that was like a test for them. And Lloyd goes in and just saves them. And he was like, that's a failure of elegance. I had so much more faith in you guys. And then immediately they're like, change. We anticipated this. So they changed their clothes. And the headmaster was like, what does their as elegance? And then obviously the stampede happens again. And they change their clothes again. He's like, they're scary. They're not elegant. They're scary. So just like all that was freaking hilarious. Now, speaking about the stampede, the way Yor took out the freaking leading cow, the pop, 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 I was just like, oh my god. And she was scary about it too. So much so that Anya felt legit bad for the cow. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I just thought that whole entire scene was just absolutely freaking hilarious. And then you have the interview, right? So we finally build up and we finally have the interview. And Anya almost leaks out that he's a spy. She talks about crossing the jungle, like to learn, about the school. She talks about crossing a jungle and being able to survive. She botches her answers a little bit, in a cute, childlike way, like a child would. Because she's, I think she's 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she answers him like a lispy child would because she's 5, right? So I just thought it was cute. And the way that she answered, even Lloyd was like, oh my god, that was the episode of the spy show she watched last night. I just thought that it was just absolutely just cute and hilarious. Then, obviously was the emotional piece, right? Where Anya was asked about her mother, who do you like more? Do you like your more, or do you like your past mother? And that sparked some emotion. And that scene specifically, those headmaster dudes, they almost died. The way that Yor responded, like there was nothing but death in her eyes. Like she was about to like assassinate the shit out of those 3 guys. Specifically the middle guy, but they would all have to have gone. They would all have to go. And then, that sparked so much more emotion in Lloyd himself, where he kind of got heated as well, and he had to hit a mosquito, and he broke their table, and then they dismissed themselves, and I was like, yes. I was like, good on you guys. Like, yeah, that's what should have happened. You know, you guys should have that. That's exactly what should have happened there, is dismissing yourself, because, like, yo, what assholes, you know what I mean? Like, yes, in some semblance, there was this is fake, right? It's a fake family, but they really did push poor Anya, this little 5-year-old girl. They pushed her buttons so much that they made her cry. Like, well, not they, but this dude made her cry, all because he's a sourpuss, because he's going through a divorce or whatever. You know, then the episode, obviously, we end off on the episode where they're talking as a family about their future or not future. The painting falls off the photo falls off the wall of them. Obviously, that's a sign for doom. But really, they're gonna let fate. They're gonna let Jesus take the wheel, right? So overall, I think this episode was fire. I think everything they went for absolutely hit. I was hella laughing during this episode multiple times. I didn't even count, but must have been 5+ times that I was just like legitly just cackling, because that's how funny this episode was. Like, I just think that everything they went for, it hit and it worked, and I thought it was just hella funny, and I really appreciated it. Now, I think that Anya, because of what the headmaster was trying to do, you know, obviously he hit that dude in the face. I think Anya will get into the school. I think they're going to be watched over very carefully, especially because the other dude's going to still stick around. So he'll kind of have a hard-on for them, because, you know, obviously he doesn't want them to get into the school. So I think that they'll be okay. And I think that they'll get into the school, and I'm excited to see, kind of as we move past this point now, what's the next thing? Because obviously Lloyd has to go and investigate the certain person that he has to investigate for his mission. So I'm now wondering what the next arc is, because, again, like I said, these 4 episodes were building up to this interview, and this is what their fake family was building up to. So I'm interested to see kind of like what's the next phase of that as a family. What's their next goal as a family? So overall, Spy Family continues to kill it every week. OP's dope. ED's amazing. And I can't wait to see what comes next for Spy Family. Let me know what you guys thought about episode number 4 down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you guys being here each and every Saturday for Spy Family Saturdays. And I'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Peace out.